Hey everyone, this is John Arnold with CameraSim, and I'm here to do a quick overview of CameraSim 1.2 for Mac and Windows. So first, high level, what is CameraSim? It is a DSLR simulator that shows you how those camera settings affect the final image. And that can be useful for people new to photography, still trying to understand the basics, and it can also be useful for photography instructors trying to demonstrate those things in the classroom. So let's see how this works. So inside CameraSim is a scene that can take on a variety of settings, different light settings, different camera settings, and these are all controllable on the left side of the screen here. And when you snap the photo, you see an image that reflects how your camera was set. And you can go back and forth between the viewfinder view and the final image view, but you can also, if you want to get real-time changes, just stay in this mode here and you can see how your settings change the photo in real time. Let me go back and I'll go over these settings one at a time. You have your light slider here that just allows you to simulate a different amount of light in the scene. You have your distance to the subject, and note how the depth of field changes as you move closer and farther away from your subject. And same with focal length. This simulates how zoomed in or zoomed out you are to your subject. Then you have three different exposure modes here. Aperture priority disables the shutter, so you can still adjust the image or adjust the camera using ISO and aperture. Shutter priority disables aperture and allows you to adjust the camera through ISO and shutter. And then manual mode, you're on your own for that because you can adjust ISO, aperture, and shutter, and you have to refer to your light meter on the camera to know whether you're going to get a properly exposed image. And something else I'll point out here, notice how the background or the camera feels like it's sort of moving. It's simulating the camera shake there. You have an option here for tripod to simulate it being on a tripod. So let me show you the hints functionality here. When I click on this hints button, I get an overlay that has some additional information. Anything that I touch here is going to show some short but helpful explanations about what these controls are. And CameraSim remains fully functional in this mode. It just gives you this extra information, which I think can be very helpful for somebody new to their camera and still trying to understand what these different settings do. And I have an examples option here where this is just a handful of different camera settings that produce different photo results. Some are good, some are okay, some are bad. This is just a good way to sort of experience the different types of images that a DSLR camera can produce. It also gives you a starting point if you want to try to fix a photo that could be a lot better. Alright, let me walk you through some of the special settings of CameraSim. When I click on the options panel here, you can see that you can choose from one of 14 different languages there. And then CameraSim actually has two styles of viewfinder, and by default it takes on more of a Canon look, but if you prefer more of a Nikon style, if you just click that second one there, then you can see the viewfinder takes on a Nikon look. The focal points are more Nikon, and even when you snap the photo, the shutter sound is that of a Nikon. And this feature down here was a request from several photography instructors, and that is simply to hide the photo feedback. So you can see by default, when you take a photo, you get the CameraSim generated feedback either telling you that you did fine, or if you took a bad photo, it'll tell you how you could make that better. But for a photography instructor, you might not want that in a classroom setting. So with photography feedback hidden, now when you snap a photo, CameraSim will not provide any feedback, leaving you free to provide your own enlightening feedback for your students. And lastly here, this is another instructor request, the idea to go full screen. And that just removes all the clutter of your operating system and is just a better visual for a classroom or presentation setting. So there you go. That is the quick overview of CameraSim version 1.2 for Mac and Windows. And if you have any feedback or ideas on how we can continue to improve CameraSim, we would love to hear about it. So thanks for watching.